We are just days removed from an unbelievable show in Boston. It was last Sunday night. It has come out since that it's the second highest rated UFC show in the history of Fox Sports 1. A short history, but once again, that Sunday night slot after the NFL playoffs proves to be very successful for the UFC, and 2+ million people watched. They got to see a great one between Dominick Cruz and TJ Dillashaw. In the end, Dominick Cruz won a super close decision, a split decision over TJ Dillashaw. He's now the new champ. We're talking to TJ Dillashaw now, who I very much appreciate coming on a few days after the fight. TJ, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thank you for the time. I appreciate it greatly. So, like I said, just a few days removed. We are 8 days removed from the fight. I know you watched it. You posted on Instagram. You watched it on the plane. How many times have you seen the fight since?
That was the only other time. I feel like I get a little bit too angry if I watch it right now. Maybe I got to let some time pass and get a little bit more level-headed about it. And obviously, I'm already correcting myself on things I should have done differently. But watching the fight does make me a little angry. I do feel even more confident that I won that fight after watching it on tape as well.
Was that just a coincidence? You sat down on the plane. Your fight. I mean, it's very rare for UFC to be on a TV on a plane. Was that a total coincidence?
Yeah. Completely, yeah. I sat down and started going through the movie channels and stuff, and Fox Sports 2 was playing our fight. So yeah, I got to watch it.
Did you have a moment?
I wanted to sleep on the plane at home, but I got all amped up and had to watch my fight.
Did you have a moment where you were like, I don't know if you were with your family members, or you were like, am I gonna commit the next 25 minutes to watching this? You know how it ends. Like, did you struggle with that a little bit?
I guess not so much with this one. I mean, obviously I was on the plane, so I was by myself. Other than the people around me on the plane probably think I'm a psycho moving around in my chair and getting angry and watching a fight and having a black eye. So I'm sure they probably put 2 and 2 together. But no, I wasn't too anxious. I mean, I wanted to watch it because after the night of the fight, I had myself winning a very close fight, which it was, a very good close fight even after watching it. But I wanted to see what went down and if I feel like I was, biased in the night, and I wasn't, man. I still feel that, I was winning the transitions, and I was the one scoring more points, and it's just unfortunate, a little unfortunate. I mean, ultimately it comes down to it being my fault, and I really do want to congratulate Dominick Cruz on everything he's had to go through and the comeback and how good he looked that night. I mean, he looked awesome. He did really well, and it was an awesome, entertaining fight. I mean, even after I got done watching it, usually after my fights, I just pick myself apart the whole time. But after watching that fight, it was super entertaining, man. And I hope, like me or hate me, I hope everyone enjoyed it,
Yeah, well, that is classy stuff. I think a lot of people appreciate you saying that. He was very adamant that this cage rust idea doesn't exist. Were you banking on it? Like, were you surprised at how good he looked considering the injuries, the surgeries, the layoff?
No, you can't really put that in your head. You can't you're not going to fight the best Dominick Cruz ever. You gotta really think that he's going to come in and sharp and ready, and he's taking these last 4 years to analyze me, and he's a smart fighter. So I expected him to come out and do good, and he did.
The takedowns were, I think, a big story. You had never been taken down. He took you down a few times, and you wonder how much stock the judges put in that. Do you think that that's what won him a few rounds? And if so, do you think that's fair?
Yes and no, I guess. I mean, takedowns should matter. I mean, I feel like you should have to control someone, though, especially when the fight's mainly on our feet. I mean, the way the judges are supposed to score it, that wherever the fight takes place the most of, if that's the controlling factor. He only took me down and got like a second or two of control until I was right back up to my feet. So if you're going to benefit him for getting a takedown, you also got to benefit me for winning the scrambles and getting back to my feet, But yeah, I mean, for those close rounds, he definitely could have squeezed by. And, those are the rounds in my head that I was giving him after the fight, and even watching it, that even those rounds that I was giving him were a lot closer to where I could have, possibly taken him as well, just depending on who's watching the fight and how they're scoring it, I mean, I feel that he got a lot of points for stuff that not supposed to get points. Being elusive and having me miss punches doesn't score you points. What it does is it scores you not being hit, and that's the advantage of not being hit.
We may have lost you there. You still there, TJ?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we lost you there for a second, but I think you're back.
Yeah, I was just kind of saying how I think he got points off of things that you're not supposed to score points, making me miss. The plan was me coming into this fight that I was going to miss shots. I knew Dominick Cruz was very elusive, great head movement. I was going to miss shots, but I was going to follow him up and connect, maybe on my third, fourth, fifth, sixth punches, and that's what I did. And I felt the rounds were so close with me pressuring, and I was still outstriking him. Most of the rounds I outstruck him. The total count at the end of the fight was like I had 10 more strikes than he had, which is very close. It's not a very significant difference, but with the way the fight was going, and I feel like I landed cleaner shots. His hands were down when I was landing. Half of his shots that they counted, my hands were up. So it's tough. Obviously I'm coming back here and picking apart the fight for everyone and complaining about it, but it's just my opinion. It's all opinion based, and ultimately it comes down to being my fault. I should have changed some things up, and I definitely didn't. It was a great fight, and I technically did some good things, but there's a lot I didn't do, and I don't feel like I had my best performance. And it's a tough one to swallow, man. I feel like I should still be champ.
Yeah, and for the record, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, I don't think that you're actually complaining. I appreciate the candor and you answering these questions, so I don't think anyone should take it as complaining. Did you score the fight when you were watching it on that plane? And if so, which rounds do you think you won?
I felt that I won definitely 1, 4, and 5, and 2 and 3 were closer. I could even see myself giving myself a fourth round, but just to be safe, I'll give myself 1, 4, and 5 for sure. One of the judges, I think his name's Tony Weeks or something, didn't even give me 4 and 5, which were my most dominant rounds. And that's just crazy to me. It's just crazy. The only thing I can think of is that he got us mixed up, because I don't understand how you're not giving me 4 and 5.
Yeah, I actually thought those were the easiest rounds to score, 4 and 5 in your favor. For the record, 2 and 3 I gave to him. 1 to me was maybe the closest of them all. I sided with him, but I mean super close. That's why I definitely feel for you, and I feel like it's probably a tough one to stomach. It's a tough pill to swallow, being that close. How has the last week been like for you? Like, are you having trouble sleeping? How have you been able to deal with this?
The first couple of days, it was tough, but and that's part of being a competitor, is learning to take what happens, and take the losses, even if you don't agree with them, and push on. I just got done with kickboxing practice. I'm out here helping Joseph Benavidez out. Joseph's doing his camp out here in Colorado, and we just did kickboxing about an hour ago at Dwayne's, and so I'm heading out and do wrestling practice with him in a couple hours. So having him out here is nice, because it's getting my mind off it and getting me right back into the gym. And I got some bumps and bruises that I need to get checked out. Nothing too bad. I got a bruise, hopefully not. It's pretty bruised up foot and hand. I got to get those checked out. But other than that, I'm in there practicing with him and feeling good. Working on some things that I should have done differently.
So no serious injuries coming out of the fight?
Not that I know of. My hand hurts pretty bad. I've been kind of holding out with getting it checked out. The UFC kind of asked me if there's anything wrong with me, and I'm just hoping they're all bumps and bruises. But my right hand hurts pretty good. I landed a pretty clean shot that hurts all the way down into my wrist.
By the way, is
just a little bruise?
You said that's your right hand?
Yeah.
Yeah. Joseph, is he officially with you in Colorado now? Has he left Alpha Male?
He's traveling and training everywhere. I wouldn't say he's leaving anybody. he was kind of doing what I was doing, but he didn't get reprimanded, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, what I was doing was going out elsewhere to do my camps and coming back and helping the team out and running practices when I was back in Sacramento and trying to be a teammate. But unfortunately, that didn't fly with Urijah. So, it's funny that he's not. It's funny that it doesn't matter when it's someone else like Lance Palmer or Joseph Benavidez, but when it's me, it's a big deal. And I just feel like, that's kind of more of a statement showing that he's trying to get a fight against me, really, more than him honestly trying to, start conflict.
No secret that this was an emotional ride up until this point, the back and forth between you and Dominic and the Urijah stuff. Looking back now, did you fight emotionally? Did it get you at all? Do you think it affected your performance at all?
No, I didn't really fight emotionally. Like I said, the plan was to miss. There's definitely things I should have done differently. And we game planned for me to miss and followed up, which I did. It's just, it wasn't anger. It's just, that's kind of the way I fight a little bit. I'm always fighting, looking for the finish, and like I said, at the entire fight camp, Cruz is looking to dance around and land. Like his technical, the way he throws punches and the way he throws kicks and moves, it isn't very technical. It's just unorthodox, and he gets away with it. The punches he lands, I could have my hands down and walk right through them. There's no power behind him. They're all arm punches. He's just throwing them from his hip, and it's just, it's frustrating the more I talk about it, I guess.
In hindsight, you wish you threw more leg kicks. It seemed like in the 4th and 5th rounds you had success. We come to find out he had a foot injury that only got worse towards the end of the fight.
It's because I kicked it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, of course.
I definitely probably should have. It was getting down his timing and stuff, and I probably should have done that sooner. And then, in the 4th round, I landed a real good leg kick that I felt, and then I know he felt it, so I was coming for 2 or 3 more. And when he went to go check it, is when I knew I hurt him. It wasn't the fact that the leg kick probably hurt his leg, but when I hurt his ankle is when he went to go check it, and I kicked right through it and almost kicked through both of his legs. And I felt right after that it slowed him down. I could tell that kind of messed with him.
What about, last week on the show, Bang told us that, and as you alluded to this, that it was almost part of the game plan in the sense to miss, but not to miss on purpose, but you were going to throw 1 and then 2, 3, 4 and keep coming at him. That being said, was he a trickier target to track down than you expected, or was he just as you expected?
I guess maybe a little bit more. Yeah, I thought I'd be able to cut him off with some certain things that I wasn't able to. I had some thoughts in my head that I'm obviously not going to give away because I want that rematch.
Sure.
And I want it right away. I'm ready to take it right away. That was, like you said, it wasn't the game plan to miss on purpose, but I knew just going into the fight with him being so elusive that I would most likely miss. And so we planned on, when I did miss, to continue my combos. And, that's why I was so aggressive and always coming forward, because I knew that was going to happen. And I knew that I could walk through whatever he was going to throw,
Okay, so let's talk about what's next. You said you want the rematch.
I want that rematch, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you told, I know you alluded to this at the presser, but have you had any conversations, your management, with the UFC about getting that rematch next?
I've talked to my management. I'm waiting to. I think we're going to be talking to them, to Dana and Lorenzo, and then we'll hear real soon. Kind of letting the dust settle. I don't want to seem overly pushy about it. I told Dana after the fight that I wanted that rematch. I felt I deserved it. And so I'm hoping he's taking that into consideration. I hope he's taking into consideration what I had to do. When I won the belt, I dominated him and Barao, and they gave him an instant rematch within 2 months, and then he missed weight, and then I still gave him a rematch, so I feel like it's deserved, I feel like I did the exact, and this fight was actually close, if not in the wrong decision, to where it should get a rematch, and I feel like I am the most deserving of that shot. I still feel like I should be the champ right now, and I want that fight. I'm afraid that Cruz is going to be a champion that's going to be up on the shelf like he has been in the past, not defending, not fighting very often, always hurt. The guy doesn't seem like he's built to fight, and I'm just worried that he's going to be sitting on the shelf and not looking to defend his belt very often, and as being an active champion and the guy that's taking fights whenever, I just, I'm hoping that's not the case. I'm hoping I can get that shot. I want that shot bad.
It's obvious Urijah wants the shot as well, but Cruz came out last week and said that he wants to fight Urijah. Are you surprised by this?
Of course he does.
Why do you think that is?
Why would he want to fight me when he knows? When I was such a close fight, and I feel that I won, and a lot of other people feel that I won that fight. That's a lot more dangerous fight for him to take and to try to stay on top. I feel like Urijah looks like the easier fight, and Dominick knows that.
Yeah. So, do you feel like they're going to go? Like, what's your gut say right now? Do you feel like they're going to go in your direction? There. What are you thinking?
Man, I don't know. I'll probably be sick to my stomach if that happens, man. Because why does he deserve it? Because one reason why he deserves it is because he's got a name. It's not like he's had performances where he should be in title contention. I don't feel that he deserves that shot. I feel I do. I feel I won that fight, and it'll make me pretty sick to my stomach. And I'm hoping to talk to them soon and plead my case and hopefully get that fight. I hope everyone enjoyed it to where they would want to see that rematch. Why would you not want to see the fight? I enjoyed it, and I ended up getting the decision against me, and I still enjoyed the fight. So, I think that it should be something that's redone.
When you saw I don't know if you pay attention to this stuff, but when you saw the ratings, did that get you excited in the sense that you're like, oh, this scored, maybe they're going to try to capitalize on this? A lot of people saw the fight. Did you think that?
I haven't even looked into it until I heard you say that.
Oh, I
had no idea any of the ratings. I've been trying to, stay out of the media and off my phone and get my head out of the fight as much as possible, and that's why it's been to have Joseph out here and distract myself with enjoying Colorado a little bit. It's always a little tough to look back on all that shit when you're pissed off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is a feather in your cap and probably something that will be brought up. I'm sure your management team will bring that up when they, make
Good to know.
make the pitch for the
Yeah.
fight. By the way, I said right before the fight that I thought too much had been made by the media about the whole camp thing because you had Buchholz in your corner. Palmer and Benavidez were there. You were with those guys leading up to the Brow fight.
Castillo, yeah.
Is that true? I mean, I thought it would be a big deal if you fought Faber for obvious reasons, but leading up to this fight, it felt like something that we were kind of putting too much stock into in hindsight. Do you agree with me?
100%. I definitely bunch of this added drama that kind of makes ratings, It was a little unfortunate. I mean, she was getting the story wrong, and it all worked out to. I mean, obviously because Conor calling it out on the Ultimate Fighter, he's got all his fans, and he's a very, very popular, persuasive guy. That's just going to continue to create drama because whatever he says, they're just going to follow. He's got like a cult following right now, so that also made it a little bit worse. I was trying to do my due diligence and come out and help the team out and come help Urijah coach when, in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't even have done that, because I ended up getting a bunch of drama started that's not even true, of me being unloyal when I'm actually at that gym teaching more of the practices. And, how am I unloyal to follow a coach that's been in my career for been involved in my career for half of it and actually my first real coach, I mean, before that I was running practices at Alpha Mill. I mean, I can't be a fighter and run practices at the same time. It's not going to help me grow. And so I just had to make the decisions that were right. And, I figured people would understand that. But, with all the drama on TV, it gets built up. It's more TMZ now.
Would you do anything differently, though, leading up to this fight to avoid that drama?
No, not really. I mean, I think that was inevitable. I mean, camp went great. I felt very well prepared. It was drama, but you just got to kind of do best you can to get it out of your head. And it also helps when you got your buddies coming out and training and your teammates, I mean, it kind of makes you realize that it's all just a bunch of bull.
Yeah. Okay, so now here we are in a perfect world. When would you like to fight again?
I knew Cruz got a little banged up and I got my hand checked out, but
yeah.
not too long off, I mean, I wouldn't mind getting in there in May or June, I mean, April's a little bit close. I got some stuff in February. I'm trying to figure out starting some new businesses and.
Oh, what do you got?
Maybe selling. Well, I'm going to start doing a nutritional plan for the California USA Wrestling and get involved back in the wrestling world because there's things that I wish I would have known when I was wrestling, and the only way to start good habits is at a young age. And so I want to kind of come back, not only kind of give back and come to those wrestling tournaments and make wrestling a little more popular in California for California USA Wrestling, but also give them some nutritional insight and, obviously make a little bit of money on it as well. But doing that, and then I also started a woodworking company in my hometown about a wood mill. I started making like custom furniture and stuff like that, and called Murphy's Woodworks.
Cool.
So just kind of getting those things started up and thinking about what I'm going to do with my house in Sacramento now that I don't spend much time there. So I got some stuff I got to figure out here in the future.
So you're gonna probably move to Colorado full time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm here now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I'm at. I mean, obviously when I go home to see, I'm from California. I go home and visit my hometown all the time. And it seems now when I go back to California, I go back to Angels Camp. Don't really hang out in Sacramento too much because other than seeing my buddies, it's nice to go back and see them, but can't train there, so it's kind of pointless.
Right. And by the way, there's a website called MMA Decisions where they track all this stuff. They tweeted out literally minutes ago. TJ Dillashaw won 3 separate rounds on 2 of the 3 judges' scorecards, yet still lost. First time this phenomenon has occurred in a 5-round UFC fight. So that's that is interesting.
I mean, I'm telling you, man. I mean, it's kind of funny to say, but I almost feel like that Tony Weeks, I think it's his name, is one of the judges. Tony Weeks. I really feel like he got us mixed up, man. Because even look at the punch count, they're exactly opposite of every other judge. Like the judges write down their score and the punch count and the strikes landed or whatever, and the numbers were exactly the same, but just flip-flopped on the other judges' scorecards. And it's like, I almost feel like you got us confused or something. It's like conspiracy.
And that would be crazy. If that is actually the case, then Tony Weeks, who, by the way, a controversial judge, one who has had a long history in the boxing world and MMA sometimes. I mean, we could talk about the judges for... I mean, what do you think, by the way? 10-point must system.
That's the thing, too. If he's a boxing coach, you think he'd be more in the favor of the way I fought. Because when you're supposed to judge fighting, you judge the offense. You don't judge a defensive fighter. You judge the offense of how it's being scored. And it's. I really do feel that like it kind of got blown out of water of him making me miss when I still outstruck him. Yeah, sure, he did make me miss, but I still outstruck the guy. I landed the cleaner, bigger shots. I mean, just because he made me miss doesn't mean he's winning the fight. I'm still outstriking you and being aggressive and in your face, you know?
By the way, 10-point must system, are you in the camp of changing it, or do you think for the most part it works still?
Shoot, man, I say we just do 125-minute round.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
You'll know who won the fight at the end of that. You know what I mean? I probably won't be very many decisions anyways.
You would be okay with that? 125-minute round?
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
That is unbelievable.
Yeah, why not? I mean, that's a real fight. There's no breaks in fighting. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I know the judges should be, I think, in the back room, not influenced by the fans whatsoever. They should be watching it on TV, and they should, you know, and then that should be it. Just in a silent room watching it on TV, you know. And they should have to judge it just off of that. I feel being there in that whole environment, and I think that always plays a effect in most fights too. You know, that's why you get these bad decisions when people fight in their hometowns or their home countries and stuff.
Very last quick thing. I know you want the title shot and you have a strong case. Any part of you want that a Sun South fight to avenge that loss, or are you not thinking about that right now?
I haven't even thought about that. I'd like to avenge that when I have the belt. I mean, I feel like Sun South deserves a shot as well. He's been on a good win streak, except he's been out for a while. So, I mean, he's been out for a long time. But I'd like to get the rematch in once I beat Cruz. You know, I mean, I feel like that I already beat Cruz, and we should be giving him a shot. You know, it's that's where we should be at right now. I should be fighting a Sensao or someone next, and I still have that belt. But that's just me.
Fair enough. I appreciate the time greatly. Really appreciate your candor. Thank you so much, TJ. Again, congratulations on a great fight. I know it didn't go your way as far as the judges were concerned, and others as well. But what a fight! It was a lot of fun to watch, and I hope you get what you are searching for next.
I appreciate it, man. I just got to go and thank my team at Elevation Fight Team to help me get ready for this fight. They did wonders, and Muscle Farm to give me every training possibility and every advantage I could in my camp. You know, Muscle Farm has done a great job of providing me with everything out here in Colorado, and that's ultimately why I made the move, you know. And I appreciate the interview, and yeah, I'm glad that everyone enjoyed the fight. I want you to go back and watch it again, though, too, and see what I'm talking about.
I will. I will do that. Thank you, TJ.
All right. Absolutely.
There he is, TJ Dillashaw stopping by. Great stuff from him.